Welcome to another episode of Declutter Advice Needed. My name is Rachel and I'm your host, and this podcast is designed to support you on your decluttering journey. Listen while you're cleaning or sorting out areas of your home to help you feel inspired and motivated to keep going. Living with less gives you more time, energy, and money for the things that really matter to you. Have gratitude for the things that you keep. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. As per usual, we do some advice requests, we do some success stories, and some motivational tips and tricks. So let's get straight into the first advice request that's titled, "What do you do after?" I've been on a major decluttering spree since November and I'm nearly done. I've got one cupboard and the shed left to do. I've really enjoyed it as a project, but I'm a bit of a loss as to what to do when I'm done, at least for now. I would say the most important thing to do is to take stock, see and feel how your home works with the reduced clutter, and enjoy that feeling. When you're ready, consider either a different project to focus on or have a look back over some of the other areas that you have already worked through and see if there's anything you would consider letting go of. Sometimes it takes a couple of times around the home to really let go of the excess. Now let's have a look at some of the comments. Suggestions of maintaining it by cleaning every day. Somebody else agrees and says, I will also say this, revisit what you kept. Something that you could just not bear to part with 6 months ago, maybe something that you donate today with no problem. And I think that's very true. Our perspective changes as we go through the decluttering process. So I felt much more confident near the end of my decluttering journey than I did at the beginning, and I kept more things at the beginning than I probably needed. So going back round and over different areas is a really helpful tool. Another suggestion, sit in your clean, clear space and enjoy. After you get out of the habit of busyness, you can enter a state of peace. Love that. Absolutely, just enjoy it. Enjoy that moment, that feeling of completing that, and then just look at maintenance. So, this is where you could just go back over a little area and just keep revisiting and just making sure that you are conscious of what's coming into your home. That will really help. Another suggestion is organise everything if you haven't already. Find tubs, drawers, whatever you need to have a home for everything you have. So it's super easy to put everything back where it goes, and the bonus of always being able to find things. So if you have decluttered but not quite done the organisation afterwards, now's the time to do that and really think about how you use items. So, for example, if you use certain cables in the living room, then they need to be stored somewhere in the living room so that you can put them back easily and it's not a chore to put it away somewhere in a different part of the house. So, really consider where you're storing and keeping items so it's easy to get them out and easy to put away. Our next advice request is titled Decluttering with Economic Uncertainty in the US. We're all seeing a lot of news about tariffs, stock market decline, potential recessions, depressions, layoffs, etc. Without getting into politics of the situation, I'm personally trying to spend less money on non-necessities. However, as I'm doing a big declutter for moving soon, I'm struggling to balance keeping things just in case and getting rid of them. I think a lot of us follow the general rule of decluttering if it's easily replaceable under a certain dollar amount, mine is $50, and is more inconvenient to keep. This isn't working for me anymore with my new inconvenient scarcity mindset. Anyone else struggling with this or have any advice? Thanks. My initial thought here is, how much do you really want to spend time, energy, and money on moving that item if you're doing a big move? If you're unlikely to use it anyway, is it really worth keeping? Be realistic about the just in case items. There needs to be a potential plan for that item. It can't just be a just in case, i.e., I'm likely to do this project in the summer, or I don't think I'll get round to doing this, or I have changed my mind about the item. You need to have a plan for that item. If you can't make a plan, chances are you're not going to use it and you are literally moving it unnecessarily. Let's have a look at some of the comments. I am decluttering a tad more, thinking if I had to move, I wouldn't afford moving supplies for this. I'm also learning confirming my bare necessities. So when I need to once again tighten the purse strings, I know I can do it. Currently, I do have a lot of toiletries. I've never been only have one bottle in the shower, and that's it type of girl. But I can keep it all organised in one drawer and cabinet. I no longer look like Lush or BBW storefront shelves, but it's good. Somebody else has suggested that they're on the other side of this. I'm using my economic and election anxiety to declutter. Take a look at Craigslist free section. It's often full of the same stuff you could easily get rid of, and again in the future, maybe a little time and planning. It costs money to move things. Don't move junk, broken things, things you'll never use, etc. Pick 2 hobbies, get rid of the rest. I like that theory. If you're somebody that likes to be creative and have hobbies, do you need to have that many hobbies? Are you likely to do that? Picking 2 is a really nice way of narrowing it down. Pick a box of art supplies and get rid of the rest. If you're moving soon, think about how much more that move will cost you by bringing things just in case. Consider the cost of storing it, packing it, moving it, finding a place for it in your new home. Also consider the cost in time, not just something like more moving boxes or a bigger truck. So definitely think about the impact of physically moving that item. Is it really worth it for something that you probably are very unlikely to use? Our next advice request is titled Kids' Birthday Party Favours. Didn't know how to flare this one. Mostly just a rant. Hopefully it's not inappropriate for this sub. I just know this sub has like-minded folks tired of clutter. I now have a toddler and have to deal with the endless streams of small junky plastic toys given as party favours at birthdays. Is this really a tradition that needs to be continued? It's wasteful for our wallets and the environment. I just end up decluttering it all, sometimes before she even gets home. For her first birthday last year, I felt the pressure to do favours. Why? For the adults who don't care? Anyway, I made them consumables, chocolate and soap, that matched the theme of her party. This year, I'm not planning to do favours. Is that tacky? How do fellow parents deal with the party favour junk that ends up needing to be decluttered once your kid is old enough to notice it missing? This was definitely a big bugbear of mine too. I felt guilty if I didn't do favours, but it felt like the only favours you were giving were junk. Consumables is a really nice way to go. I often did cake to take home because they have so much party food. Having the cake as well as part of it seemed like too much in one go, and taking a piece of cake home was nice. So I often did cake to take home or some chocolate. I think only gift something more if you can afford to, but if it feels relevant, useful to others. Let's change the trend and stay away from favours altogether. Just be thankful for time together and a little bit of birthday cake. I think there will be lots of different thoughts on this. I like the idea that on a personal note, I applaud you on not doing favours in the future. While party favours definitely existed before Pinterest, the current trend of elaborate swag bags seems like a Pinterest trend that got out of control. I totally get this. The cycle of plastic party favours that break in a day or end up in a trash is frustrating. I love you did consumables last year. Chocolates and soap sound like great, thoughtful alternatives. Skipping favours entirely isn't tacky at all. Kids are there for the fun and the cake, not a tiny bag of stuff they'll forget about in 5 minutes. If you do want to offer something, I've seen people do things like a craft station where kids make something to take home, or practical little items like stickers or seed packets or mini Play-Doh tins. But honestly, no one expects favours, and most parents are probably relieved not to bring home more clutter. For dealing with the junky ones my kids bring home, I try to let them enjoy them for a bit, then quietly retire them once they've forgotten. Some I repurpose for travel activities, but most don't last long. It's definitely a tough balance. Yeah, there's definitely a few mixed thoughts on this one. Other people still suggesting plastic and glow sticks or a plant. It just seems a lot though to put so much effort into a gift that is not really it's not necessary. They are children and they just want to play and have party food and eat cake. Like that's all they want from a party. I think we've created something that was kind of showing wealth and showing popularity or well, essentially you're trying to favour somebody to like you, aren't you? That is what a favour is. Do we need to keep that trend going? Probably not. Now let's talk some success stories. And the first one is titled, Anyone Else Majorly Declutter Kids' Rooms While They Are Away? How old were they and how did it go? I decluttered my 6-year-old's room yesterday while he was at school. I did it kind of on a whim, so I didn't warn him I was going to. He is such a little hoarder, and every attempt to tidy up his room while he is present is a fight, even if I do all the work. I do not expect this to go particularly well, but I was trying to wash his sheets and just got fed up trying to get to his bed. But I did not throw anything away and kept it in a box just in case. I was so nervous when he got home and told him I had a surprise that he was either going to love or hate. I couldn't believe the way his face lit up when he walked in. An audible gasp and squeal. Everything has a home. So now I'm not sure how long to keep the box of junk in case he notices something missing. Should I tell him it exists and give him a timeline of when he can notice and ask for things by? I'm definitely not letting him look in the box either way. Specific requests only. I did this a lot when my son was out. When he'd gone to his dad's for the weekend, for example, I would gut his room, get rid of anything broken, the rubbish, bits and pieces, freshen it up. I think it's a lot to ask a young child to be able to maintain a room like that. I think that is our responsibility until they get to a reasonable age. Now I do expect my son to do it at 15, but he's a teenager. He should be taking a little bit more ownership of his space. But when they're so young, I think we ask too much to be able to get them to keep it tidy. I think sometimes it's often hard for them because there is so much stuff, and that is something that we are responsible for. We are the ones that fill their rooms with excess clothing, more than they need. They have more toys than they ever would need, and just so many resources. And we don't often put them in place in a system that makes sense to them either. We can put them in systems where we can group categories together and label it with images and text to help. There's ways that we can make it more efficient and easier to manage for them. So, but that's part of the development as they get older. I think it's still important to do that without them there until they become a reasonable age. And let's have a look at some comments. I really like this one. Somebody suggested that they keep it hidden and they swap out some of the toys every few weeks, leave a manageable number of toys in the room at all times so we can easily find homes for them and do a quick tidy. It works very well and keeps kids from becoming bored with their toys. Some toys can stay out if it's used daily, but others can be swapped out. I'm sure you can Google it to see a better explanation. Another suggestion is that please don't throw random things away without asking. I know it's difficult to know what someone else would really value or miss, but I still haven't forgiven my mum for getting rid of a few items. I was actually ranting about this yet again the other day, and I'm in my 30s. I know you want to avoid digging through the decluttered box and wanting to keep everything, but maybe it's a good habit for them to get into. Maybe say they can pick out 3 things, but they need to give you a reason why. And or ask them to pick the things they can definitely let go of. I do think that's an important part of the process. I think it's good to, I mean, obviously you're going to get rid of anything that's broken or that's actual rubbish, but anything that's actual things and toys or papers, etc., it's really important that they are part of the process in some way. It helps them learn how to let go and to appreciate the items that they had and realise and recognise that they are not really serving them anymore. And it helps build their resilience moving forward when it comes to managing things and stuff and clutter. It is building that resilience. So let's encourage them to be part of the process in some way. Tell them that maybe they've got that box of the things that you've thought that they probably won't need. They can have a quick scan through, and if there's anything obvious, then they can pull it out. But I think when they're older, as in they've left home because they've gone to uni, etc., I think you absolutely need to involve them in the process and they need to go through the stuff because they are adults and you're not going to know what's important to them. And it's important that they can make those decisions. The next success story is titled, It Took a While, but I Got There. I joined this subreddit to find like-minded people who got the situation and weren't judgmental about it, would understand how big the achievement was, and if I could help a few people, that's great. So context, I have OCD, so my clutter is that and hoarding tendencies I inherited from my hoarder dad. I've been in a functional depression since I got body slammed by both my parents dying within 18 months of each other, being made homeless and jobless, and having to move the three-bed family home with me. I got a job that I'm still at, and I moved, but it has been 5 years. We had a whole pandemic. I just never had the energy or desire to fix the clutter. Had a bathroom that was not functional because I was trying to make use of the items that wasn't functional because I was trying to make use of items that there wasn't anything wrong with. I had cupboards filled with clothes I would never wear. I had doom piles. I had an excess of cleaning products I didn't use because they comforted my OCD. On my birthday, my brother, who is the opposite of me in this respect, said to me, "You have a lot of stuff," which sounds fine, but I know exactly what he meant. We grew up in the same house. It annoyed me because inside I agreed, but I had no energy to tackle the mammoth task. Now the success part. I started Zoloft on the highest dose I've ever been on in Jan, and at week 8, I had a surge of energy and the burning desire to let go of anything that did not serve me. I spent the last week destroying my clutter. I have donated via collection 7 clothing bags, 2 book bags. I have a basket of stuff to donate locally. I did 6 recycling breakdown trips and ripped out 10 bags of trash. No cupboard or wardrobe was untouched. I reorganised my systems. I repurposed items that I hoarded. My home is no longer a safety hazard that something might fall out of a cupboard and brain you. Showering doesn't require anything beyond me getting into the thing. Sometimes it feels like you can't get there after so long, but you can. I believe in you. And that is a lot of stuff to have gone through. That is a 3-bedroom house worth of stuff that one person has had to deal with, and it takes a lot. I think you do have to go with your energy levels, and if you're feeling that you've got that energy, go with it. If you're feeling that motivation, do what you can until you can't do any more. But well done. Our next story is titled "Took 2 weeks off work and spent the first week decluttering and got so much done." My husband and I took 2 weeks off work and decided to dedicate the first week to decluttering. We even got a bonus day at the beginning because his boss called as he was heading to work that day and asked if he wanted to take one more day of PTO. He took it, came home, and got started immediately. In the last week, we've done 3 Goodwill runs with the back of the car filled with boxes and bags of items we no longer need, filled our outdoor trash and recycling bins to the brim twice, sold 37 items on eBay, which totaled $1,452 after fees, but excluding shipping, supplies and costs, mailed off a box of old eyeglasses to a charity, and went through 90% of the stuff in our apartment. We also got some spring cleaning projects done, like cleaning out the dryer vent. We even discovered that there was a hole in one of the connections, and now we know why our bathroom, where our washer and dryer are always coated in lint. We replaced it, and hopefully the lint accumulation will finally slow down. We still have some stuff left to declutter, like under the bathroom and kitchen sinks and the garage, and I have more stuff to list on eBay, but we're exhausted, so we're going to take it pretty easy for the next week and maybe just get 30 to 60 minutes of decluttering and spring cleaning projects done per day. If you can swing this, I highly recommend doing it. It feels like we just moved to a new place. There are some little messes here and there, but it's nothing like it was before. I wish I'd taken more before pictures. Dedicating some quality time to going through everything is so powerful and can really transform your space. I know not everybody has the luxury to do that, but if for any reason plans get cancelled or you have to take extra holiday or a friend is coming to visit and they're really keen to help out, take advantage, do that spring clean, go through stuff and see if you can reduce down. If anybody offers to help you take stuff somewhere, take up that offer. It's a really great opportunity to blitz some more stuff and get it done. Now, a motivational tip for success titled "You Can't Outbuy Poor Body Image." I just heard this on a decluttering Instagram reel the other day, and oh my god, is this me? I've been decluttering since Christmas just gone and getting into a good rhythm with it and gotten rid of loads. But I just went into my wardrobe and oh my god, it's like hoarders. I'm a hoarder for clothes. And I know exactly why. I have bad body image. It stresses me out, so I've been buying so many different types of clothes to fix it. And obviously it never does. But I've just had this epiphany now, so no more clothes shopping for me. Thought I'd write it on here in case anyone else can relate, and my last Reddit post was about where to buy clothes from. I think working out your style and your image can really help you understand what your wardrobe needs to have in it. You really need to understand your personal style, and that will help you reduce down your clothing into a more of a capsule wardrobe. And it will also mean that you'll have lots to work with and you won't feel that temptation to buy more things, which is so easy to do when we are bombarded by advertisement and inspiration for outfits. Think about your style and follow people that match your style or your image, and actually maybe take photos more of you in outfits so that you can recognize what's working for you and what's not. Try things out and make sure that they fit well and that you enjoy wearing them because that's what it's about. Remember, decluttering is a journey, not a quick fix. Regular decluttering habits are key. Always looking to monitor the amount that you have and being aware of the space occupied. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has inspired you to keep decluttering and keep going. It is a journey, you will get there, and it takes time. Just keep motivated, keep going, and your vision will come through.